Yes, hello mate, how you doing my friend? Good? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, and I do hope you're doing well mate, I really do hope that. Welcome back to, Chelsea News. The twice daily, potentially thrice daily show here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, and it being the transfer window, and it being just this storm of Chelsea turbulent uncertainty. There's always a lot of news. So welcome back. More outgoings to discuss. Well, it's actually quite a lot. Moises Caicedo. Where are we going to land with this agreement? With the player agreeing to join Chelsea and him being a priority target profile. We'll talk the money. Deals with Inter Milan. Deals with AC Milan. And maybe a Lukaku solution. Huh? Sounds good to you? Well, it sounds good to me. Thanks for joining me. Admin. Like, subscribe, etc. Should you subscribe, hit the bell notifications icon because all the time. So many videos. Why is that not working? Okay, here we go. Alright then. Inter Milan, Trevor Chalobah, and of course, Cesar Azpilicueta. And we'll speak about Romelu Lukaku in isolation in just a moment. So, I like Trevor Chalobah. I do. I really do. I feel like now and again he's been really good. He's been very, very professional. Just got on with his work since he's come in. But this could... he could bring us more money, and I hate reiterating certain sentiments or regurgitating the same themes, but pure profit. That alliteration, two words next to each other, is what Chelsea Football Club as an institution is enjoying right now, with an immense overhaul of a bloated and sort of, just a squad that's just been rotting in the wrong directions for a long time in many ways. They want a complete overhaul and they want to build by design, which is not something Chelsea's done over the last decade. It's been Galactico manager, get a couple of players and try and adapt this sort of mismatch with the new additions. Like, we'll get a Jorginho and Kovacic and try and play Sarri ball, even though this player does that and that player does that. Oh, okay, we'll mix and try and revert back to a back three with Tuchel and Lampard because we've still got wing backs. Okay, now Potter's come in. We'll try and do, a back four. Now we've got Enzo in the midfield. Bollocks, if you excuse my language, for those of you listening with children. It's now philosophy top to bottom, building from the ground up, foundation. And we're going to take in loads of financial losses. So selling academy products is a good opportunity to make pure profit. As Azpilicueta, of course, we've sort of saluted him. It does look like we'll terminate his contract as a sort of gesture to him, so he'll be free to go and sign on for free wherever he wants. Of course, he's our captain and indeed Chelsea legend. Trevor Chalobah, so he's been linked to Inter. Inter want to sign him on a free. And of course, Trevor Chalobah's being linked. Now, Trevor Chalobah should bring in £20 million plus, 25 million pounds, considering, the experience he's got in the Premier League, the Champions League. He can play at centre-back, he can play at right-back, he can play in defensive midfield, which he spent most of the season doing in France, in the French League. Experience in another European league already. That's appealing to, say, a City A club. And he'd bring in money. Now, I liked the idea of keeping Trevo, so it'd be Wesley and Trevo on the right centre-back and Levi and Badishu on the left centre-back. Of course, there is Thiago Silva still. So, Thiago Silva would just be that fourth centre-back. I thought he'd be like the spiritual centre-back godfather of these guys. Like, dude's going to be, 39? Like, it's wild, bro. In the Premier League, which is rapid. So... in theory, would be fine, 4 centre-backs, including Thiago Silva, in a 2 centre-back system. No problems at all, my friends. So with all that considered, we could sell Trevor Chalobah. He's one of those people that you'd be very happy for him to stay, but you probably wouldn't cry your eyes out if he goes. Maybe he'll make us look bad and because he's still young, maybe he'll become like an Inter legend playing there for a decade and becoming one of the sort of elite centre-backs in world football. Thiago Silva will leave Chelsea after this summer, after this upcoming season, And then we could have just kept Trevor for a long, long time. Let me know what you think about Trevor Chalobah to Inter Milan in the comment section below. All right. Speaking of Milan clubs and selling Chelsea Cobham graduates. Why was that so hard for me to say? Yes, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's wanted by Milan. Milan have reignited their interest of Chelsea midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek after agreeing to sell Tonali to Newcastle for £65 million, by the way. Now, Tonali is a good, high-profile player. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm a Philistine, but if I had 65 million quid to spend on a midfielder, I don't think I'd buy Tonali. I don't know, maybe the last few times I've seen him play, I just haven't been overly excited. So Chelsea value Ruben Loftus-Cheek at £25 million. I think Ruben's only got 12 months left on this deal. Now, Ruben deserves a great deal of respect because he's a very good footballer. When on form and when fit, he could be highly influential and actually dominate certain portions of the pitch. And of course, versatility is off the charts. He's played as a forward, he's played everywhere in midfield as a 10, an 8, a 6. He's played as a centre-back, as a sweeper. He's played as a wing-back quite a lot away in the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. He put in an excellent performance at wing-back. So this dude is versatile. Of course, over at Milan, Fikayo Tomori's there, so he'll be on the blower to RLC, giving him the lowdown of why he should join. So yeah, despite maybe only having 12 months left, I can see why Chelsea would want to squeeze 25 million. There will be wiggle room there. I think they'd probably take 20 without considering that much. I don't know why I think that, and I've got no reason to think that. I've just got a feeling in the gut and in the heart. Milan want to lower it to £15 million because he's only got a year left in his contract. So writes Nizar Kinsella. Milan have walked away from previous talks with Loftus-Cheek. Of course, when sporting director Paolo Maldini was sacked, he's the one who wanted RLC. Talks stopped. But the City Giants have renewed their interest and want Loftus-Cheek to replace Tonali at the heart of their midfield. That's like a cool move for Ruben, I think, to be like, playing just in front of Fikayo and, recent Scudetto winners Milan. This is good, Of course, Koulibaly went to Al Hilal for 20 million. Chelsea making moves. Ziyech and Mendy are following. Havertz and Kovacic are following. Chelsea will try and sell Aubameyang. Very quiet on Christian Pulisic at the moment. I think we've offered him in part exchanges, but he'll have a year left in his deal as well, I believe. I don't think it's 2, I think it's 1. And he is high profile. People are remembering that Pulisic exists, even if it's just because of his performances for the US men's national team, scoring multiple goals and, getting assists and getting amongst it and wearing the captain's armband. He should bring money. Anyway, for me, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I get it. I always wanted it to work for him. He's a great, great player. He's unique for me. He's an absolute unique player. I wanted it to work. But at the end of the day, if he's got to go, selling him to Milan for quite a few quid, it's a lovely old job, if you ask me. Right, final Milan-related story before we move on to Moises Caicedo, of course, is Romelu Lukaku. Now, this is story's been aggregated by loads of publications, but I'll give you the lowdown. Chelsea won't loan Inter Lukaku back. They won't. They said, look, we've had our pants pulled down by you for a few years now with this signing, with this loss. If you want him, you buy him. Otherwise, we're gonna send him to the reserves until he agrees to go to Saudi. Oh, that's not me citing any news. That's a joke and a speculation. So apparently Inzaghi is really clear to his employers Inter that he wants Romelu Lukaku at Chelsea at all costs, and that's reports from Tutto Sport in Italy. So yeah, the Inter manager really wants him. I mean, I get it. He was in good form by the end of last season. He was really effective. Dzeko's gone now, and he was starting some games. They got to the Champions League final. I mean, although Lukaku missed that header, he still makes them better at times in how they play. You can clearly see that, and he changes the chemistry in the front line for the better for them. And they'll back him to get confidence and score goals again. He was, prior to the Champions League final, he was in good form in the league. So anyway, this is where we're at. They have offered us a 1 more year loan, but with an obligation, and I guess this is for financial fair play reasons, for their own FFP reasons. They've offered us, they'll loan us for 1 more season, but an obligation to buy for 30 million euros. Which I guess they'll pay the wages, and there'll be a loan fee of like what, 8 million euros or something. So it'll be like 38. Chelsea have countered with 40 million euros. He's 30 now, and they'll be probably secretly, internally delighted just to get this done. So if we could, loan him with an obligation to buy for 40 million euros, this, and I'm speculating on a loan deal, 48 million euros for Romelu Lukaku. It's just over 40 million quid. I know we spent 97 million quid in them, but it's 3 years. No, 2. Yeah, that will be 3 years after we've had him on the books, including the other loan year, and we would have absolved ourselves of his wages for 2 seasons of the. It's a poor show, whichever way you look at it. But to get that money back, to absolve ourselves of their wages, to free up that high profile slot in the squad, and to free up the blessed number 9 shirt for poor old Nicholas Jackson, or should we land a blinder, Victor Osimhen, which we reported on this morning's video. Feel free to go watch it. That number 9 shirt. It just doesn't even seem cool, does it? It seems gross now. Like I remember when I'd play FIFA and you'd do like player career and you'd be a striker. Well, I'd always be a number 10 actually and be number 10. But now and again the manager would put me up front because I scored so many goals. I don't know. I used to think number 9 iconic Chelsea. Some number 9s. I know we've had loads of crap ones before, but to be honest, Diego Costa was 19, wasn't he? You know what? Screw the number 9. I'm done with it. Lukaku Tinto. Right, surely the final high-profile transfer we need is going to be Moises Caicedo. We're going to read an article from Football.London. Of course, there are conflicting reports also on the goalkeeper that, again, that we've spoken about here on the channel. Pochettino is interested in working with, newlywed Kepa Arrizabalaga. But then there's also sort of conflicting reports that we're going to go in for not Jota. Probably do with him. Diogo Jota, actually. No, Diogo Costa. Not to be mistaken for Diogo Jota, or confused with Diogo Jota, or Diego Costa. That's why it's a bit of a mind fudge, isn't it? Diogo Costa. He's a goalkeeper. Anyway, if that story percolates further, this is percolating, and gains momentum, we'll of course talk about it. But let's talk about Caicedo. Chelsea make huge Moises Caicedo transfer decision as Brighton asking price revealed. Well, what does that mean? Chelsea have been one of the most active Premier League sides during the first 2 weeks of the summer transfer window. We had an initial bid for Moises Caicedo for £60 million, and that's a testing water bid for Caicedo. It's similarly the same way that United did for Mount with 40 million. It's that kind of entry, it's going to be significant. It's not going to be overly insulting, but it's going to be too little. I guess that's almost ritual, like an unspoken ritual between clubs. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. How we live in a world where I'm okay with paying silly money for a young Brighton midfielder. I just don't know how we got here. So we've got a heavily squatted squad, and we need to clear out before the 30th of June, which is 4 days. I guess should Havertz, Kovacic, and the free Saudi deals, so those 5 sales, get over the line. Come on, wiggly arm. Before the next 4 days, then we're good. I'm assuming that's it. But, don't let assume make an ass out of you and me, as they used to say. However, the Times have now claimed that the Blues have told Brighton they will not be meeting the Seagulls' asking price of more than £80 million for the Ecuadorian international. Well, it makes sense. And, we spent 105 on Enzo Fernandez because he'd just won the World Cup, best young player at the World Cup, was performing really well in the Champions League prior to the World Cup. Moises Caicedo has had a great season for Brighton in the Prem. there's just levels, isn't there? Roberto De Zerbi's side have been known for refusing to sell on the cheap in recent times. It's not cheap. It's 60 or 70 million pounds for Moises Caicedo, who you bought for like 5 million quid, mate. Jesus, ruddy Christ. In fact, they are unwilling to allow the 21-year-old to leave. They were in the January transfer window. Arsenal bidding as high as 70 million pounds. 70 million pounds. During an interview with the Beautiful Game podcast, Brighton CEO Barber joked the Gunners' offers was only enough to sign half the player. What? Where did you get off of this, mate? Like, who do you think you are, bro? You know what? I mean, fair enough. You know what? I'll take that back. Respect. You've come up into the Premier League with your little seaside town club, giving it the biggin. To be fair, it works. The dude has got the game wrapped up. Like, I tell you why he's got the game wrapped up, because I'm reacting like this. That's exactly why he's done it. He's done it well, because you've got people like me raging on YouTube and getting all sweaty. So I kind of respect him, you know. Jesus Christ. When asked about the North Londoners' offers, Barber responded, only if they want half the player. It always amuses us when we see the numbers in the media because they've not come with us. Yeah, well, and then we still spend 62 million pounds on Marc Cucurella. So the numbers are there, mate. Well, if we sign him for 70 million, whatever. You know, we get the double pivot of Enzo and Caicedo. Long-term pivot. We build around them. Just move on. You know, just move on. Just do that. Forget about everything else like a horrendous fever dream, and hopefully we're going to be okay. What do you think, though? I put it out to you people, the people that really matter, the viewers and subscribers, and sometimes listeners, often listeners. Yeah, comment your thoughts. I look forward to reading them. If there's no other video this evening, because I may well do it, because it's probably going to be some breaking news, do tune in tomorrow morning. I should have a new lens either for tomorrow morning's video or afternoon. Shout out to everyone who replied to me on Instagram, because I said I wanted to get in. I mean, this is good quality, right? But I want to go even better for you lot. Yeah, I chatted to a few people. Shout out Reese, if you've watched this to this far, and a couple of other guys that told me about a lens. A lot of people would ended up saying the same one. It's a Sigma. I know nothing about lenses. I've got expensive camera stuff because I need it, but I don't understand any of it. Hopefully it should be better. I want to make the content better for you guys. So keep locked for that. Thanks for subscribing, hitting the bell, and I'll see you soon. Peace.